We're 2 weeks out from the National. Cal Raleigh just won the Home Run Derby. The second half of baseball starting. There's a lot of hobby to talk about. And Mike's sick. This is Cut the Nonsense.
So is this going to be like the Michael Jordan game?
No, because he actually showed up and played.
Right. How about the Willis Reed game?
I think he came back too.
Oh, okay. So this will be different.
Yeah. This will be different.
It'll be just the two of us. Okay.
Like I mentioned, your back should be hurting today from carrying the show because you are a phenomenal host.
Well, thank you. And I wanted to clean up from last week because I went off on the trade up challenge. I got some personal messages from people saying that it's for the kids and I didn't understand. Well, it went to a vote. And do you like the trade up challenge? Most people said no. Overwhelmingly, 84% don't like the trade up challenge. So do I feel vindicated? Joe, I feel vindicated. Only 16% of people like the trade up challenge. And I'm pretty sure it's the kid who tried to trade back with me who voted.
Danny, you should feel vindicated. I actually saw a video this past week where I think he was 13 or 14. He had over $60,000 in cards that he acquired all through trades. So, yes, you should feel vindicated. And there should be a no trade back clause. You should always be trading forward, never back.
And if you're driving your Mercedes up to the show, no trade up challenge for you. $60,000 in cards. That's ridiculous.
Well, Danny, that applies for Mercedes Power Wheels too, which they do make. If you're driving that up to the show or you're being towed in one of those, and I also will say there are some strollers that people would refer to as the Mercedes of strollers. That if you're being wheeled up in one of those, you're also not allowed to participate in the trade up challenge.
Best thing I saw at the last show was Dad carrying the baby with the Zion case in the stroller.
Yeah. Which one weighed more? That's what I want to know. Which one weighed more?
And it was one of the Mercedes strollers. And if you have little kids or you've had them, you know what we're talking about.
Oh gosh. I mean,
that's a whole racket, by the way.
That is, and they're fantastic too. There is a big difference between the 4-wheel and the 3-wheel. I will say that maneuverability is key. But Danny, I wanted to also say
radius.
Yes, the turn radius is wonderful. But thanks for making it to the show today because you are live on a cruise ship in Alaska. Is that correct?
That is correct. I am live from Saskatchewan, I believe. Actually, out in the ocean sailing right now. So if I drop out or fall overboard, we're down to Joe.
Have you done any gold panning?
We have not. We've only been at sea so far. So I've been enjoying the scenery. If I could turn my camera around, which I'm not going to, I am looking at mountains and oceans, and we're hitting some glaciers today. So
excellent.
Pretty cool. You like that? I'm excited to talk the hobby, Joe.
Speaking of which, on any of the ports, Danny, do they have any card shops that you've been able to identify or hobby shops?
No, but we laid over in Vancouver and we're going to lay over on the way back. And I've heard Vancouver's got some serious shops. So if you have a card shop in Vancouver, put it in the chat and I will be back later this week after this airs. So I look forward to it. But you brought up something more important. We're 2 weeks out from the big one.
Yeah.
The National. And we're not going to do what everybody else does. We're not going to tell you to wear deodorant. We're not going to tell you to pack extra shoes. You know all that. There's 14 million podcasts to tell you that. What we're going to tell you is I'm going to my 7th or 8th National and know a plan going in. Have an idea. It is big. It's overwhelming. You'll get tired. All that's true. But you will have the greatest week of your life. If you plan what you want, go through your collection in advance, decide if you're even buying or just making friends or just seeing people, get your schedule together. I'm I don't know about you, Joe, but I am starting to put together an itinerary, kind of a calendar for the week, stuff that we're going to be doing. I know you and I have some other obligations beyond just the card show. What's kind of your prep at this point?
So this is my first national. So everyone's told me overwhelming. Just like
Cheers
when
to
I've
you.
gone to, thank you. Like when I've gone to Disney or any big thing, I already have the map, the floor map laid out. I kind of have an idea of where I want to walk around, that kind of stuff. I also have some buddies that have me on the lookout for certain cards for them to complete their rainbow of different players. So I will be doing that. What I did do is Costco had a great deal on these compression boots that are for like leg recovery. And I've got some athletes in the family, so we use it for that. But I've been prepping myself and making sure my circulation is on level 10 so that I don't have tired legs throughout. But I plan on being on level 10 the entire time I'm there. I'm gonna have a meetup with Terry. Terry said he might have one of the fake uh, mantles for
Mantle.
me to take a look at. He might have a Miguel Mandel that I can look at. But I'm really excited, to be honest, Danny. I know that um, we'll be going and we'll be a part of, working with Greenie, working with SCN, looking at the trade night. But really, I really don't know what to expect other than going to a huge convention center and seeing a bunch of different things pop up. What I've been told is take pictures or write down things if you see something that you really like, because you will look up and then you will not know where you are the next time you look back down. And so that's kind of some of the older collectors that have come into the shop and said, "Hey, you're going to your national, first national." Like he's like, "This is the advice. Write down the sections that you're at, look at the tables, that kind of stuff." And if it's something that you want, really follow Nathan Burns. I bring him up all the time too, but follow that 10% rule. Like, don't miss out on either selling something or buying something by being 10% off. Is that pretty fair?
If you find something you like, buy it. I've lost out to one of my best friends in the hobby. I was looking at a Koufax rookie. This is years ago. And it was beautiful. It was centered. It was much better than the grade. It was something I could actually afford. And it was a gorgeous card. I didn't pull the trigger. I said, let me think about it. Let me come back. Came back, card was gone. Go out to lunch, meet up with my friend. He pulls out the Sandy Koufax rookie and says, look what I just bought. This card is gorgeous. It was the same effing card. He bought the
Mm.
card from the same dealer at the same table without knowing at all. Total coincidence. And if I wouldn't have had lunch with him, I would have never known what happened. But that's how quickly stuff will disappear. So that was one of my biggest purchase mistakes ever, was not buying that card. And so, yeah, if you see something that you want or like and it's in your budget, and I love the 10% rule, that's a great rule of thumb. If I would have followed that, I would have a Sandy Koufax rookie. Not the,
So,
yeah.
so Danny, I guess with this being my first national too, and please let me know in the comments too. I know I goof around a lot, but can I expect, like, are things going to be close to comped, or a lot of things going to be over comped? When I've talked to Greenie too, if you have something really rare, he's often said, he'll be a little high on things, but then his comments like, try to find this in the room. Like, if it's available in the room, I get, being able to match that or being close on price, but I gotta believe we're gonna be seeing a lot of things, me personally, that I've never seen before out in the wild. And so to expect kind of some wild pricing, is that fair?
if if you're serious about buying, everything's priced to negotiate, is what I tell people. There are so many people who are lookers. The stickers just kind of separate the lookers from the buyers. If you really like the card and you feel like you're in a range, everything's priced to negotiate. Cash is still king. I know everybody likes virtual payments, but at card shows, for a variety of reasons, cash is still king, and you will often get a better price. And if you're close, and I know this is old school, I still flip a coin between the dealer and I. If we're $10 off or $20 off on let's say, $150 card, and we're both feeling a little stubborn, and you get to the point where it's not about the money, you just kind of want to win the negotiation, just say flip it, heads or tails, and take your chance and have fun. That's what the Nationals about. And all those one-on-ones that you'll never see anywhere else, don't worry about buying them. They're going to be $1 million. Just enjoy them. Ask to see them. There's nothing wrong if you're a person who's used to handling high-end cards with asking to see a card and
You know I
handling
won't be
some.
doing that. Based off of our conversations, I will not be asking to see a card only to put it back. That will not be happening. I will be
Oh,
ridiculed, especially if it's a booth of someone who watches the show. Like, and I take that out and I'm like, well, I see that you have $48 on this one of one printing plate, but there seems to be a dimple on the corner. No,
well,
not
see,
happening.
I think it's more like I see this Babe Ruth autograph. Is that a sticker auto?
Mm. Hmm.
You'll hear questions like that. It's a variety of collectors at the National. You'll have
Yep.
your newer collectors, and you'll have your veteran collectors, and you'll have people that have been to Nationals and not been to Nationals, and it's all over the place. I think it's a great time. Come say hello if you see us. If you're watching this and you're going to the National, put it in the comments. We'd love to do a meetup with you. Like Joe said, TB, Terry, you are more than welcome. We'd love to meet you in person. And for everybody else in the chat, everybody who's first and everybody who's with us every week, we definitely want to say hi and get your feedback in person.
Danny, let me ask you this. When you said there's a variety of collectors, can we separate the new people based off of they're going to be the ones that are eating vending options and then asking to touch cards, right? Like that's pretty fair, right?
So
We will see that, right?
the food situation in general, mixed with the cards, is interesting because the food court turns into a trade night, trade zone.
Mm.
So everybody is eating and trading cards at the same time. And to your point, Joe, there's no in between of washing hands, of getting the Cheeto
Lot of
dust
turkey
off,
legs,
perhaps.
people just
Yeah,
non-turkey legs. Danny, that
yeah, I
brings
think
me up
that's
on that's the second
yeah. Go
question I
ahead.
have on here about the Nationals, the trade nights. So trade nights in general, I don't know. I think trade nights in general are great. But what can you expect at a trade night to this magnitude at the National? Is there literally just trading across the border? Is it people buying cards? What does it look like?
I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. It's an amateur show where instead of paying for a table, you sit on the floor and put your cards out. And it's awesome. I mean, there's a million people, but there's no professional dealers. So you sit down, you put your cards out, you walk around. I'm looking for Cal Ripkins. I'm looking for whatever it may be. And we'll give a shout out to our partner here, Greenie's, booth 1338. You want to go to a booth if you're looking for a real card. A trade night, because there's no formal organization of anything, is more fun. That's why it's more social. That's why it's got a great younger demographic. Although that's changing a lot. You just get to do all the stuff with the people in the community. And I think that's important also.
So, Danny, my only experience that I've had with a trade night out, other than what we've hosted at the shop before, is there was a gentleman at the Arizona State Card Show that he probably had 20 of these cards. Do you remember Patrick Mahomes had a stack of cards that were supposed to be signed rookie cards from the rookie premiere, I believe, that were thrown away or they were donated to a Goodwill?
I remember hearing that story.
Yeah, he had 30 of those, and he was, like, going around so they were cards that, they said on the card, authentic autograph on there, but the autograph wasn't there. They never got signed. And they were I mean, he was a huge I believe it because he was a huge Mahomes collector and had a ton of high-end Mahomes stuff, and he wasn't there to sell them or trade them, it was there for a show off, but, um, dude,
So Terry
I'm always
Johnson, calm down. Terry, calm down. He was not selling fakes.
correct. He was not selling fakes, he was not hawking fakes. They were there, but it was cool to see. Is that something that we can expect, like, at this trade night, more or less people that don't have the ability to vend. But I mean, not that it is an ego thing, right? We love to show our collections, we love to show our cards. Is that something that I can expect to see here? Is a lot of chest puffing?
Um, yeah,
Okay.
that's I was trying to be polite. The people who sit down and spread their cards out, are not spreading out base.
Okay. So I'm not gonna
That's
see a lot of retail color.
the Walmart variety pack of the mystery pack of junk wax. You will not see those.
Okay, that's fair.
Um, yeah, but what are you looking forward to? Seriously, your first one. All kidding aside, all BS aside, we're going to cut the nonsense. What do you as Joe, the human being, not the
So
card
I
shop guy?
well, I love pop culture stuff too. I know this is gonna be another tie to Jesse, but Jesse's the OG. But I like to see like cool things like Harry Houdini signed stuff, Elvis Presley signed things. Um, that's really cool to see out in the wild. It's not necessarily that I collect it, but I do really like that. I want to see a Stars of Wrestling set. I want to see A and B, which have like the Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes. Um, I know someone's going to have something like that out there for sure. Uh, the other things that I really want to see too is I like to see like really, really old school baseball stuff, like the not really the T206s, but more of like the stuff that was cut from the tobacco boxes, like more the cardboard flaps and that kind of stuff. I think that's pretty cool to take a peek at.
Yeah.
I know that all of this stuff will be there in droves to see. But it's really this is awful. I'm going to compare it to kind of like the reception at my wedding when I was told to to kind of find yourself in a corner, take a step back, and just kind of just soak it in for a second, and really understand what you're looking at. Because I know my perspective is going to be a lot different than what you guys have seen, and you guys have seen the national in multiple venues too. So that's going to be different. And then, dude, here's the sappy side: is it's going to be a real tough week for me because my youngest of 5 kids goes to kindergarten, and I'm going to miss kindergarten the first day.
Oh,
So that's I'm gonna Thursday, I will be a sappy baby, but, uh, dude, yeah, that's big stuff for me, so, um, but I that will culminate with definitely understanding, like, being at the national and the opportunity that I have, so I'm very excited. How about yourself? Is there something that you're looking for specifically?
okay. So I am the cheesiest, corniest person if you get to know me, and I feel like I'm going to give the dorkiest answers here. I'm excited for seeing certain people. I'm excited to see you in person.
Mhm.
That is genuinely one of the things that I'm looking forward to. Um, Other friends in the hobby that I don't get to see because we live a virtual world in the hobby. So all that's important. There is some business stuff I'm looking forward to. I hope that goes well. But I'll be honest with you, I'm like you. I want to see the stuff I don't see anywhere else in the wild. Stuff that I know I can't afford, stuff that I have no interest or no plans on ever purchasing unless I hit the lottery. But just to see it. And yes, I will pick it up and hold it. I'm not going to examine it like I'm buying it, but I will pick it up to look at it. And I mean, ex presidents, George Washington autographs, Abraham Lincoln, um, just cool stuff. And whether it's sports, non sports, I definitely skew towards vintage and historical items. Um, that and I love Bowman first prospects. So the exact other end of the spectrum. I will be looking for some rare prospects who are lower, maybe not top 100 guys, where I think I might find them, where I can't find them around Baltimore, let's say.
Okay, so I just added to my list too. You had me thinking. I know you caught me off guard for a second, but now I'm back on guard. I'm looking for a Louis Armstrong signed music sheet or any like mini trumpet or something like that. So Louis Armstrong, if you
Satchmo.
have it, you're watching. Yes, sir. If you are watching, tell me the booth, put it in there. I think that would be fantastic to see in person. Uh, I know at one of the shows that I recently attended, I was able to find a Jimmy Pearsall auto, which was a big deal. Uh, if you ever get a
Yeah.
chance to watch the movie, I know you don't really do anything pop culture, Danny, but the movie is Fear Strikes Out, the Jimmy Pearsall story. He kind of has a mental breakdown, and that's a real story, true story. Leads us to our next segment. Danny knows nothing about pop culture. Danny, Las Vegas right now, a huge thing has happened over this past week at the Sphere. Backstreet's back. All right.
Okay. So let's decompress this a little bit. I did not know who Oasis was. I've learned this week. Many people in my life have educated me that they were a popular band in the '90s that are coming back together on tour.
That is cool.
I have also found out that I am way more out of touch than I knew, and I knew I was out of touch. I am familiar with the Sphere in Las Vegas. That itself was major news on its own. The rest of what you said, I'm not familiar with. You made
Danny, are
some
you familiar
sounds and
with
some words
Millennium?
after that.
You're not
Millennium,
familiar
I'm
with
familiar with,
okay,
but none of
the
the music.
album,
Oh no,
I
who
Want
did
It
that?
That Way?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to readjust to my seat here. So, me and 2 buddies, we stayed the night in a Meijer grocery store for the release of Backstreet Boys' Millennium. Yes, it was supposed to be a little funny, but the album still holds up today. It was fantastic. Them walking on the like, Danny, are you
What
familiar
you?
with TRL? Do you know what
No,
TRL is? Total Request Live?
no.
Carson Daly?
He hosted a show,
Yeah,
a
on
late night
MTV where
show
they would
for
do
a
the
little while.
countdown. Jeez Louise.
No.
Danny, so I Want It That Way was probably at the top of the TRL list. Every day at 4:30, they would do a top 10 countdown of the album or famous songs. I mean, it's back. It's at the Sphere. It is at the Sphere. You get to see this huge spherical building that has some of the greatest visual effects. Backstreet Boys, they're still slamming, not like they used to, but they're doing well. And this is all on the heels of the Wizard of Oz that is coming to show at the Sphere. So that's been pop culture. What's been happening this week, and I'm sorry that you haven't been a part of it.
Well, this is my new favorite segment is how much do I not know about the world?
Dude,
Um,
and this
but
sweatband keeps
s-
climbing up. This is going to be insane. See my five
you
head.
good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a wardrobe
Speaking of the
malfunction.
sphere, I want to follow up because you corrected in our chat, you self-corrected yourself. We were talking last week about
Yep.
baseballs, and how much they cost when you went to buy them. And it turns out undershot a little bit.
By quite a bit. I actually sent Haley the shopping cart of it. 24.95 per ball times a dozen puts you at 299.40. And that is not for all-star or MVP balls. That is just the standard baseball. So when I said 150, I was $149 off. I was a second box off.
That is crazy. And that's an official Major League Baseball, just so we're clear. It's not the
Right.
Little League Pro Ball. Hand sewn, just like the but without the mud. Um, and $25 a baseball.
Danny, that was with a $6 savings in the cart too, uh, on delivery. So, I mean, again, you had brought up that the mud, it was, Maryland mud.
Delaware.
Delaware, excuse me. I know someone, my buddy, Thrubus put in there, the Mississippi Delta mud. It was not that. It is Delaware mud, and 60 Minutes did a great thing. If you guys ever get a chance to go and see that little snippet, it's like 15 minutes about the guy and the family. that harvest the mud and put that on, which is crazy interesting. Have you ever been able that's in your neck of the woods, have you seen where they harvest that mud from?
It's actually a secret location. It is on the bank of a stream or a river, is my understanding, and the combination of the soil and the water and it all mixes up to form this perfect mud. And the umpires rub down the baseballs. I think it's 4 dozen per game get rubbed down with mud pregame, and those are the game used balls. So um, I don't know if anybody finds mud interesting, but I know nothing about Backstreet Boys or Oasis, but I can tell you about Delaware mud.
Yeah.
That's my world, Joe.
The minerals are fantastic, and think about cornering the market for years to come with knowing where that sweet riverbank is that you can roll these balls in the mud and I mean, essentially it coats them and protects them, but seeing how they actually wind each ball is kind of cool. Still, I mean, $25 a ball is insane. I mean, that's crazy, right? When you
It's
think about what
ridiculous.
they give away at games, batting practice, stuff that goes into the stands, I mean, it's twine and cowhide and mud. That's gold. It's gold.
What, from a baseball standpoint, what would make a game ball worth more money than, I mean, obviously a big moment, a big home run, but would a player post career, if they were in, you brought this up, a documentary, if they did a focus on them, I mean, would that help raise the price of their memorabilia?
Yeah, I do think so. A lot of the game use stuff when it happens in big moments, what I've learned is Major League Baseball has staff on site at all of the stadiums, so they go down and they sort the item right away. But if a person leaves with the item prior to that happening, it's almost like it didn't happen in their eyes, and then you have to start going backwards and using a company. I believe the company's called Mirrors, where they do a lot of photo matching of certain things. Which can be expensive and difficult. So if you do have a moment at a stadium where you catch a ball or something like that, you kind of want to stay in your seat and wait for that person to come down to authenticate. Because like I talk about in the shop too, when people come in the door and they're like, "Hey, I was at so and so event and I know that this is real. This person signed it. Here's a picture of me." That's great, but that story dies when you sell me that item because I can't resell that item with that story because I wasn't that person there. So, yes, I mean, it does carry some value, and then to your point, um, just recently, the Quarterbacks, documentary, season 2 came up on Netflix, which follows Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Joe Burrow, and I mean, I think more and more as documentaries like that get released and kinda slow rolled out, the thing that's nice with Netflix is if you're a binger, you can watch the entire thing all at once, and it's not like that slow burn, like what other streaming services do. So that might hurt a little bit because it doesn't prolong it, but when you have, like HBO Max and they have Hard Knocks, and it's a team that maybe has a big rookie or something comes out. In my eyes, I definitely think the more people that can touch it outside of the hobby, that drives interest and excitement, and so then you have people that are then going to bigger, sourcing places like eBay, their local card shop, maybe stumbling upon Fanatics Live or whatnot, and seeing these items there, and then wanting to drive the price because in their mind those type of collectors are just looking for one of those items. They're not in it for the long haul, so they don't mind paying up for an item. They will pay more for an item because they only care about getting it once.
So you've seen The Last Dance, right?
Yes.
Okay. Has there ever been, this was a pandemic combination of things that happened, but has there ever been a sports documentary that has had the impact on the cards, the memorabilia, the zeitgeist around everything that they covered? Um, than that, I mean, I think that forever gave Jordan even another bump in his prices well after retirement, which is very hard to do once you're retired to get another bump.
I think that The Last Dance did more for the Jordan base cards than it did for any of the big stuff because everyone thought that they had the one, right? Again, I've mentioned before, people come in and they bring their Jordan base cards in, and they've seen it online. You can Google this card; they're selling for 40,000, but that's not really the case. It sold for $4. So yes, it has done a bump. I will also say, Golden, when Golden had its little show on, well, I guess it's not a little show, it's on Netflix, and they have a couple of seasons. That's super interesting. That's driven a lot of interest within the hobby. I've had people ask me about it. Oh, is this kind of like what you do? Like what's going on with Golden? And I'm like, well, sure, but on a way smaller scale. They're not flying me across the country to evaluate a guy's $1 million collection of game used jerseys. But no, that evaluates interest. There was also a show. Again, this is pop culture, Danny. So it was called Slobby's World, and it was based out of it's kind of like uh, a shop down in Tucson that they really, what do you call, like, they take in used clothes and sell it, that kind
Like
of
a
stuff.
consignment shop?
Like a consignment shop, but he had like 1993 Daytona T-shirts that were like racing shirts that they could turn around and sell for hundreds of dollars.
That's crazy.
And they were doing it, and it wasn't just for TV, because I've seen it, because there's also pop-up shops here in the valley that, like, they're selling Jinko jeans, and for hundreds of dollars, Danny, hundreds of dollars. And these are ones where people have walked on the bottom of the jeans forever. So there are holes, because at one time, don't let my face and body type fool you. I did think I was a skater, and I did wear corduroys, and I walked on the heels of my jeans, my silver tab jeans at that point. So I get it, but I mean, these things, they want hundreds of dollars. The other big thing is, and I'm so foolish, like old wrestling shirts, Stone Austin 316 or the Rock shirts. Those are going through the roof. Or if you have, like, there's an older gentleman in our shop that comes in, and shout out to Jim Brown, and not the Jim Brown that a different Jim Brown. But he has like a 93 Phoenix Suns final shirt that had like the big head Kevin Johnson and Charles
Oh,
Barkley. And it's like pressed, no wrinkles, gorgeous. And I was like, Jim, I mean, you probably have hundreds of thousands of dollars in just T-shirts that people would die to have. It's wild, what we're going through right now. And I know this is probably, being 41, it's probably the first time in my life that I've seen like the rebirth of fashion that I've already gone through. The one thing that I'm holding out for, and I even talked to Mike, maybe we could get some cut the nonsense. Do you remember the quarter zip starter jackets that had the big flap in the front? I see your quarter zip, and I raise you
I
a starter jacket.
Oh, that's where I was
Like, peop
headed.
like,
You
people
had
were
to
dying.
have a Raider starter jacket. It didn't matter where you lived. It was only Raider starter jackets or Cowboys
See,
for some reason.
no, in my neck
I
of the
wouldn't wear
woods,
I wouldn't wear the other
the Bulls. The Bulls starter
Really?
jackets were the huge, huge deal. And then also in Michigan, we had the Pistons ones, not the red, white, and blue, but the weird bronze and like that aqua green when they went to that color where it
Oh,
had the horse with the tailpipes. Yeah, that was huge. But all that stuff's rebirth. And I think at the national, I think we might see some of that stuff. I think we might see some of the clothing start to creep in a little bit. To circle back also to the national dating, I wanted to ask you. I hear all the time, all the other podcasts in years past, when they evaluate the national, they talk about, there's a group of dealers that have been there forever, and you have to kind of walk through that, and they have the same stuff that they have every year, the same price. Is this a real thing? Is it like the Boneyard?
so if you go to 5 years in a row, maybe you will have seen that Harry Houdini autograph every year, and it wears off a little bit. When you have such expensive items, like that's the stuff that people remember. So the regular stuff turns over, and I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. But when you're talking about these one of one historical pieces or these giant Grail cards with sticker prices of high fives or six figures on them, they just don't sell quickly. So you will see a lot of that over and over. But honestly, like I like the Boneyard a little bit, and then that's a great phrase for it. These guys are the guys that were at the shows, for years. When I say I've been to a bunch of nationals, I mean back to Baltimore 15, 20 years ago. And yeah, it was the same group of guys. But these are the guys that will negotiate. These are the guys that probably have not priced out their stuff anytime recently. Um, but they're good to talk to. They know the sport, they know the cards. You can learn from them. I will say that one of the things about the National, Joe, is I don't remember ever going where I haven't learned something from a dealer. So that part of the room, if you can get somebody to talk to you and you want to learn something, they are the ones who know it.
Excellent. And I know this has nothing to do with anything, but the Northern Lights, which aren't really what I'm referring to, but the Northern Lights that your lighting looks amazing. I don't know if you have a new diet, but you look fantastic. It's good to have you on the West Coast, Danny. I don't know if it just has eased any stress in your life, but you look so amazing via the internet from Alaska. I wanted to point that out before we got too much further into the show. The other thing I wanted to point out is this past week, and this does have implications on the national. Victor Wembanyama cleared to participate again. Now,
By the
I
way,
know I
pro
said it.
transition there. I don't want to pass that over either if we're giving
Thank you,
compliments.
thank you. Uh, I I don't know if the damage has been done, right? We have more graded cards of Wemby than we do of LeBron, which is
Which is
insane.
unbelievable. Yeah.
He is a big that we've spoken about that just doesn't carry value over time. He's a versatile big, we get it,
But
but
what
he's now
position would you call?
he's a center, 100%. He's not a 4.
Okay.
He's not. He's not.
What would you
I,
call? What would you have called Dirk Nowitzki?
he's a 4. He's a 4. He doesn't get down there and bang. He's not he Dirk wasn't known as a shot blocker. Like he wasn't an enforcer in the paint. He was that stretch 4. He was more of a finesse player. Absolutely. And I know Wemby has some finesse to his game, but he's not being when he's on the court defensively, it does not matter if his guy is pulling him out to the 3. He's going to be there to also affect shots that go up. Like, so I have him as a center for sure.
But
Fight me
like you
on
were
that.
saying, his value doesn't seem to be affected by that.
No, I wonder if his value is going to be affected by a culmination of being a center, being injured, and having just a complete flooded market. It, because I honestly, I'm starting to see it with downtowns too. I think we have flooded the market with downtowns, 100%. I think Panini and Don Russ and clearly Don Russ and Don Russ Optic and any other way you can get a downtown. Panini One. Uh, I think we're starting to see the commonality of it, uh, where it's just not as rare anymore. I know that we're going to carry high prices on it, but I don't know. It's not a shock to see one anymore. And the players that you're seeing on them, uh, uh,
But how much longer do they have the license?
for basketball until October, for football until April 1st or
So could they
March
be
30th.
squeezing out every last
Yeah,
dollar?
very well could be, but I don't see them doing the same with kabooms. I think kabooms look a little bit to be more rare at this point.
So for Wemby's value to go up, it's got to be scarcity and not artificial scarcity. I believe that artificial scarcity will eventually become the new overproduction problem in the hobby. because if everything's numbered, then you lose a lot of that rarity and specialness. I do think Wemby is a generational talent, and his high-end stuff will continue to go up forever. But to your comment about Jordan, base will be base forever. And it would be hard to imagine with this many cards out there that his base stuff would have a huge increase over time. But there's
No,
no doubt in my mind, for the type of player he is, that his
no, no,
high-end stuff would go up.
no, Danny. Why this is completely different is Wemby has base that is licensed and not licensed.
Fair.
Wemby's non-licensed rookie base is going to tank 100%, and his licensed rookie base, I think that will be what we're talking about going forward. Um, I don't know. It's going to be nice to finally have product again, like I had spoke about. Having someone like Cooper Kupp, who Tops has had his McDonald's All American, his Bowman first, and now we're going to have his NBA cards. I haven't seen
Cooper Flag.
from the Cooper Flag, yes. I have not seen any pre-ordering or anything, any discussion about 25, 26 basketball from Panini yet. I don't know when they have to turn the presses off, but I will tell you that if they get an opportunity, we're it's another issue where they're going to have flooding of the market because you'll have licensed but non-auto, but then come October you're going to have both. So maybe they, if they're listening, maybe they do something like what they just did with the WNBA rookie royalty, where you have the opportunity to get kabooms or downtowns of Cooper Flag. But I don't know. I would really, I could see them doing something like, hey, some of his Duke teammates, since three of them were in the top 10, having a triple downtown. Uh, that could be something cool that looks cool. It would be the first of its kind, but definitely, kabooms, I think from the Panini standpoint, I think that's the opportunity that they have for the scarcity piece. But I don't know, who knows? It's going to be really interesting to see this turnover here because you are going to have, from what we know, you're not going to have a lot of 2025 NFL product coming from Tops until that license hits. And this will be the first product. I don't believe that there's anyone that's exclusive with Tops. So Panini's going to kind of go out with the NFL product of having the ability of everyone as a signer, which will be interesting. The other thing that in 25 football product that has already started coming out. So they have Score Football, and then Donruss Elite comes out this week, and then next week is Certified. They've been putting Arch Manning autos in there because he's an exclusive. So it's been a rated prospect card. We had a gentleman pull one in our shop, sold it on eBay for almost $600.
So are autographs the future of holding value?
I think they'll always,
more than just numbered or more than just a case hit or something.
I think so for sure. It will always have that value. I When I first got into the cards game, I autographs were autographs to me, and I bring this story up all the time. Is again, you guys know I have a big family. Doing something like my son wanting a Steph Curry auto. Uh, I, I mean, those are tough to come across, big time. But I did have the ability to get him a Leaf sticker auto, non-license, and my son's got a Steph Curry auto, and he loves it. Couldn't care different. But then you have people like, well, it's not licensed. That's the first strike. Number two, it's a sticker auto. So, and then I started to really think about like, well, they do have a point. That's the difference between event worn and game used. If you go back and look at flawless patches from 2014, 2015, 2016, those patches are insanely priced now. And when you see, well, it's a Jerry Rice game used jersey, that's a big deal. It's a big deal, Danny. It's a big deal compared to an event worn.
Or
I think,
player worn at no specific event or game, where they
yeah,
just put it on in the dressing room.
yeah. Someone on the Sports Cards Nonsense page had I think it was like number to 25, but it was a Tom Brady, just a patch card that they were at like $1,300 for. It was a small patch, but it was a Super Bowl patch. It's a huge deal, worn in the Super Bowl. It's a big deal. So I do understand the value of hard signed, no sticker, having those game used patches. And that's why, like Don Russ Elite, when that comes out, yes, it is a Panini product. Yes, it's a paper product, but it's their first, those Pen Pal signatures. That's the first time you're going to get the on card auto from the player, the rookie, and then they're typically in their pro uniform. It's you run into it with Origins. Are you familiar with Origins in football at all, Danny?
I am.
Okay, so you know when they have the rookie who hasn't established his number yet, and now they're 00 or 0 on their Origins rookie auto card? Yeah, that's super frustrating. So hopefully, I mean, that's been established by now at the rookie premiere that they had right after the draft, so they have an understanding what number these players will be. But later draft picks or unrestricted free agents who become huge, um, that's where you see the difference. Like Brock Purdy, I think he had rookie cards in like 2 or 3 different numbers on the actual card himself. So kind of goofy.
I think the better that the AI and the graphics get, the easier it'll be for the card companies to change the numbers. Because a lot of these guys get drafted, then they change their numbers once they're with the team, or they buy it off a veteran, or they switch it again. So that's an interesting point. People like to have the actual jersey number that the players wore. Um,
I know my
and
Lions, they have a couple of different big time players that'll have different jerseys this year. Like Jahmyr Gibbs is going from 26 to 0. Come on, bro. Like, think about all the people that bought those jerseys too, which as a thrifty buyer, that's big time for me because I can go and get my kids Jahmyr Gibbs 26 jersey, which retro. A
there you
little
go.
bit of,
Put it in the comments. Was he hate me the first zero that made a name for himself?
I don't know that he was 0. Was he?
Or one? He was definitely a number that went with his name. It was the whole persona of he hate me.
I put "He Hate Me" on the back of my 9-year-old's flag football jersey a couple of seasons back, and for people who didn't understand the XFL reference, I got a lot of like heads cocked to the side look, like, why would you put that on a kid's jersey? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
they start calling you in, calling the hotline. You know, well, we got
annoying.
parents here,
Yeah,
so
annoying. I know you guys aren't real big soccer fans, but in case you weren't watching on Sunday, the boys in blue, the Chelsea
Chelsea
Blues, we won 3-0, and we were huge
over
underdogs.
PSG.
Yeah, we had Cole Palmer, who had 2 goals and an assist. It was
Also known as
fantastic.
a brace.
Yeah, yeah.
We're educational here, Joe.
I appreciate it. So that's huge. I mean, having the opportunity to win the Club World Cup, big stage. Um, I don't know if you again followed it, but when they did receive the trophy on stage, President Trump did hand the trophy off, and then he refused to leave the photo session. He stayed as they do. Like it's a big traditional thing for them to rally with the trophy, and then they bring it down to the ground and then raise it up. And President Trump just sat right in the middle of the raise up, and even the captain for Chelsea was like, is he getting out or what's happening?" And President Trump just sat right in there with it, handed the trophy off. So big win for EPL, big win for Chelsea and the boys in blue. Cole Palmer, I, not pumping at all, but I will tell you, I did not see an increase. I didn't see an increase, my man. It was
Well,
crazy. I had some buddies that had some pretty big Cole Palmer cards, and we didn't see a big increase at all. And it might be because so.
I do think that the American market's slow to react to soccer unless it's one of like three players.
Okay, Pulisic.
Holland, Mbappe, there's and Messi maybe are the three that I think the market's quick to react to.
Okay.
Other than that, I think it takes a little while. I mean, even Lamine Yamal was a good year between when he signed and when his stuff exploded. Um, so
Which
I
can we
think
expect again, the national here? Can we expect to see some crazy Lamine Yamal cards?
like it'll blow your mind. I mean, absolutely amazing, amazing stuff. And when I talked about scarcity, I mean true one-on-ones, not artificial scarcity. I mean really cool one-on-ones, autos, rookies you haven't seen before. If you're not familiar with him, he's 17 and he's the next, big thing in soccer. But he's played up to the hype so far, and his cards have gone through the roof. If you're into long-term soccer plays, but Joe, are you a Yamal fan?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yes, because it was something I could watch with my kids and like say, "Hey, look who this kid is 16 and he's playing for the Spanish national team." And being able to sit down, okay, not toot my horn. I coach, right? But having the ability to explain to my kids and other people that a 16-year-old, so my oldest daughter, he's 2 years older than you, and he's playing against grown men who are at the peak of their physical, like, being, right? And he's beating them, and he's faster than them, and he's more efficient, and he's smarter on his play, and his body type isn't too far off from these guys, like, you're seeing that this is not, um, late '90s, early 2000s when the United States thought Freddie Adu was the next guy. This is not that, Danny. This is the real deal for the next 15 years, 20 years. I mean,
Freddie Adu's still working off that contract he signed at 14.
and and you know what? Freddie Adu was an absolute beast. We just didn't have the stuff to bring him along. Like, if you hear the stories about Lamine Yamal, like, as, like, a 2 and 3-year-old, he was in the Barcelona the actual program that they have. There's a card where he's in a bathtub and Messi's over. Like, Messi as a Barcelona guy, like, with, like, the kids, like, I mean, he was born for this greatness. Um,
Can I
wild.
make a bold statement? I
Absolutely.
think he's got Messi's feel for soccer in a more athletic body. That doesn't mean he'll be a better player than Messi, but I think he sees the field or the pitch uh, in a very advanced way, like you said. But he's got the body type, especially when he grows into it, to be an extremely athletic player.
Now, with him being young and being brought up, and we see this with you being a Bowman guy, me being out here in Arizona, we see it with the fall league. When you're younger, you see a lot of in-person autos. Okay. Will I expect to see a ton of in-person stuff, or will this be more pack pulled items that we'll see at the national? Is there a good combination of both? Like, I'm not, even though it, and this is my hot take today, even though they've touched and held the item, I don't like in-person autos. I don't. I think it ruins the card. I don't think it looks nice. I'm just not a fan of it. I know a lot of people make a living. A lot of people have in-person autos as a part of their collection. It's just not my thing.
I'm sorry, somebody just called out a professional autograph seeker. Was it Aaron
Libby Dunn,
Rodgers at an event, a golf tournament? Who was it?
Libby Dunn
If
did it.
anybody knows, she might have done it also. But put it in the comments. There was a player recently who all the kids were asking for autographs, and then some 40-year-old guy with the UPC code and 25 things gets in line for signature. And I forget who the athlete was. I wish I could remember, but
Well,
called
it
him
was a
out.
Red Sox prospect, Roman Anthony, that they would have to. There's a viral clip of the minor league team putting him in the laundry bin and pushing him out to the bus because of, like,
I saw
the
that.
term is graphers. The graphers were
Ooh,
getting them.
I was not familiar with graphers. All right, Joe, we are on the home stretch here. Time flies when you're having fun. And with two people, it's less talking, which
A
can be
lot of
good or
Danny
bad.
this episode. A lot of Danny.
Ooh, I think that's a good thing every so often.
It wasn't
I'll
bad.
disappear next week.
Not bad.
Don't worry.
Are we
Um,
gonna answer your top 5 catchers?
I think we'll have to bump that to next week.
Okay.
Do you want to give a quick preview?
Okay, you guys tease me all the time for being a homer, so, Pudge
No.
Rodriguez, but as a Tiger, I'm gonna say that's a big one. Sandy Alomar Jr., Cleveland Indians. He was a pretty solid
Terrible
catcher.
take.
I get it 100%. Joe Mauer, which could have went, pro as a football player too. Huge, big time player. These are
Scholarship to
more
Florida
modern.
State.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was the Gatorade Player of the Year for football too, and baseball.
It was.
Um, which sidebar,
But
Charlie Ward,
after
dual
eh,
athlete, Florida State,
good call.
and
Real quick
Sanders.
though, the concussion on Mauer moved him out of catcher. I think he played more games not as catcher than he did as catcher.
Okay, then I'll take it off the list
I
begrudgingly, but I'll do it. I think catchers you also have to really you have to go with the olden days guys, some older stuff. I mean, Johnny Bench, obviously great catcher. Um, before he passed tragically, Thurman Munson was on the way to be a great catcher, uh, for
Yogi
sure.
Berra
Yogi, great. Pee Wee, no, Pee Wee Reese was not a catcher. He was a
was a
second baseman,
shortstop. Uh,
shortstop.
Gabby Harnett, Bill Dickey.
Um,
Um,
Piazza,
Piazza, I would say one of the best hitting catchers ever.
okay.
I think he was born to be a DH. I think if there was a DH in the National League at that time, he would have been playing a lot of DH. I mean, he you could run on Piazza anytime you wanted.
So that goes back to where I think when we have this conversation with Mike, I think it has to be separated with, I would say 1985 and back, in 1985 forward, different styles of catching. Like when you talk about the when you talk about the vintage catchers, we're talking about just like hard plastic and elastic bands around their knees, like no wedge behind their knee, no like throat
Back
protector.
when men were men and they walked uphill to school 10 miles in the snow.
100%. Like I think you ended at Terry Steinbach. I think Terry Steinbach and back would be who would be looking at, and then anyone post Terry Steinbach and forward. Like I loved Mickey Tettleton for the Tigers too.
Fruit Loops Tettleton.
Yes, but he wasn't like a great catcher, but I don't that's a real hard question. I do need to do some research for that. But catchers, are you saying this because of Cal Raleigh?
I was saying it for Cal Raleigh, but also we were talking about undervalued positions when we were talking about NBA centers. And the idea of catchers in baseball has always boggled my mind why they don't get more respect. I know it's hard to hit as much as other positions, but they are so crucial. More managers were catchers than any other position. Um, that I just think it's something that was worth discussing.
100%. And the other thing too to bring up with Cal Raleigh is that he's doing all of this and he's not even close betting odds wise to what Aaron Judge is doing continuously. Like you have a 6'7" center fielder, right fielder, left fielder who's diving, who is knocking on wood, staying healthy, and batting at a clip just shy of 400. And he's doing it consistently. So, if we go back and look at bang for your buck and types of contracts to be the captain there in New York, to have all of that pressure and doing it at a high level and carrying that huge contract, I mean, that's insane. I don't know that we'll ever get to the point in baseball that we are in basketball, but did you know Devin Booker, again, full circle Booker, he is close to being the first player in NBA history that his contract will be almost $1 million a game.
And how much per ring?
That wasn't a part of the deal yet. Yet. Not part of the deal yet.
Oh, okay, no rings. Okay. Just double checking. Uh, we're going to wrap up episode 6. This was a blast, buddy. This was a lot of fun. I don't know what else I would do at 5 in the morning in Alaska. So, what can I say? When this airs, yes, we pre-record, but we are in the chat with you live right now as you're watching this. Joe, I'm going to make sure you do the proper exit here, but I will tease an Aaron Judge story. I will tell next week how I almost ended his career in the minor leagues. True story, Aaron Judge. So, Joe, great show, and what should everybody remember?
Danny, don't forget to take advantage of the buffets while you're on the ship. I want some good pictures of any ice sculptures that they do have at the buffets. Luckily for you, I'm sure that you took advantage of that they allow you to include the gratuity when you purchase the cruise. So kudos to you. You can make sure that you like and follow us. Smash the thumbs up button. Make sure you're following us on YouTube so you can get all of our content there. Make sure you're on the Instagram, seeing the video reels, the shorts, all that kind of stuff. And again, continue to provide us the feedback in the comments, and we will continue to interact with you also. We appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for next week, Danny's Big Story.